Alright, so this is a setup. This map was played as economy, so in that mode the objective is you want to rack up the most points as shown over here on the right side. Do that by holding these territories. They give you that many points per tick. You can use those points to buy units, but the win condition is so-and-so team has to hit 4,000 points. As the game goes on, that total goes down. I think at the end of this one it was probably about 3,400, just so the whole thing doesn't stagnate. So this is just a setup right here. My teammate's planning to go north into Charlie like such. He'll also hold Kilo so we can have a reinforced channel. These little arrows mark the reinforced channels. I'll be moving into Hotel and Juliet to get those points. I'll be rushing infantry carriers to India and Foxtrot to try and prevent them from getting a cap there. I also have a Huey with Rangers. I'm going to plan to put that over here just to see if they're kind of moving in around this area. That's kind of their equivalent. The maps are somewhat symmetric, so we can expect probably some activity over here. We're not going to hold November, even though it gives us to it at the start. Alright, so the game has begun. I'm going to look at their setup since I clearly didn't see it when we played it. Looks like they've got 2 command vehicles in Bravo. They are kind of using Bravo and Golf. We did not use our other point. We all started from Kilo. They've got some anti-air. Radar-based anti-air has now been buffed against airplanes. Not as good against the helicopters. That's kind of the job of the infrared anti-air. They're moving troop helicopters down what looks like to Mike. This mass looks like it's probably going to try and secure Charlie because we all want the reinforced point. In this case, my allies got troopers in the M113s, command truck to seize Charlie, a couple good tanks, Martyr Rolans to take out the jets, KPZ-70 is a pretty solid tank. It's got a fair number of guns, I think. 2A4 is one of the best main battle tanks in the game, says T80U. My helicopter is running over here right into the middle of a mess. Looks like they've brought in a MiG-21. I don't know if I catch this one in time. I believe I had an F-15, but... Yep, here comes the F-15C. I'm going to try and intercept the MiG-21, assuming he gets anywhere, but it looks like the Roland might get him. Nope, F-15 got him, and he's out of there because they're going to be shooting at him too. So at this point, this helicopter's kind of going down. I'm trying to find a place to set it down so I can drop the Rangers, but they're probably not going to make it. I don't see any of this on the map at the time. These infantry carriers look like they're going to make it into Fox. I'm going to get there. They're going to split. Right now they're in groups of 4. They're being split right now. If you unload the infantry carrier in the vicinity of one of the buildings, like as such marked with a white line, the infantry will by default go in that building. Typically, you want to spread them out a bit just because, if they artillery you, it's going to hurt, but usually infantry and buildings don't take a whole lot of damage from that kind of thing. So it looks like my allies kind of got this zone. He's got Panzer Grenadiers in the city. They're going to have a really hard time if they try and move tanks on. It looks like they're backing off their infantry carriers too, because they're probably going to get sniped by our team's tanks. I've by now more or less secured the city. Few complexes in there, moving in Vulcan anti-air. I believe I've got some tanks just kind of waiting there. They're going to move up later. So right now we're kind of at the advantage. We're sort of even. Looks like we've got the advantage in points held. They have Mike, which is a reinforce, Golf and Bravo, and Delta. So they're at about 9. We're at 9 right now. However, we got the center secured, so I've got an not infantry carrier, but command truck moving in to try and seize India. That'll get us an extra 4. speed this up a little bit. There's not too much combat. We're kind of hunkered down. Moving the tanks up into the center to see, poke around, what's up. Looks like they're bringing in some infantry carriers. They might be planning something. A whole lot of helicopters and anti-air over in this area. And they're trying to sneak some tanks over. It's possible they're trying to sneak into this zone because it's not covered very well. Here we come. They've got a scout there. They're probably seeing all this stuff that's going on. They're sending artillery to the city. It's not doing much. We're bringing in more rangers on the Huey. We're going to put them in this zone right here to try and see what they're doing in the next town over. Looks like everyone's spending their points to try and reinforce units. You can see it tick down. Now it's 3980. Tank destroyers being brought up into Gulf. I don't have any really expensive tanks, so they're almost a waste. I can't select it, so I can't show the unit. I'm gonna keep firing arty. It looks like they've only got that one artillery unit. Fires kind of a burst of 5. So here's basically what my team is seeing at this time. We've got India secured, Hotel Juliet Kilo secured. So we've got a total of 13 points to their 9. And it's definitely showing the score. We're getting the units that we need. They're trying to bring helicopters around. This is what we're looking at. I believe around this time, they actually started moving along this road to try and snipe this command truck. We'll see what they see for a second. Yep, here's a group of T-72Ms. They're just kind of hiding out. And they don't really know we have much of a presence in the city. It looks like I got some riflemen that weren't fortified in a building. They're getting shelled with artillery. I don't know if it's actually going to hit them. And here comes some infantry carriers and flamethrower trucks, and they're not ready for it apparently. These infantry carriers were empty. They were basically just to serve as a shield for the flamethrower trucks. Spetsnaz aren't super cheap. Eagle comes in to try and get a helicopter. Doesn't seem to. So because I'm an idiot, I didn't fire the flamethrower truck. Now I have, and it's going down. So look at everything on the map at this point. They're definitely moving in. They've woken up these T-72s. They're going to move on a helpless M577, and they are going to kill it. I think around about this time, I've got these two M113s. I'm going to use them to scout up ahead. They're empty. They're kind of useless. They've got a little machine gun. But we can try and find a command truck. That's basically what we're looking for. It looks like they're going to find ours about the same time. We'll go back to our view only. They're moving helicopters over, probably to try and intercept these M113. And we have visual on the command truck. That's all we need. F-117's on its way in. Hopefully they don't see it. We're just going to get in, drop the bomb, leave. Actually, I'm going to pull them up to see when they actually see that thing come up, if at all. And they don't. Holy crap. There it is, already evac'd, it's dropped the bomb. And target destroyed. Basically, the stealth fighter is really good getting in, taking out those kind of targets like the command trucks. You can't directly attack an anti-air with it. The radar SAMs will still see it, and it doesn't have the standoff range to do it. There are special planes that'll home on the radars, and they can do that. To counter that, similarly, you can shut off the radar weapon. It means you're not going to shoot the plane down, but they're not going to kill you with a radar seeker missile. So I'm trying to find a radar anti-air that I can demo this. So for example, this, if you disable, you can only mouse over it. So if you see at the bottom, it shows the weapon 9M33M2. If you click that to turn it off and disable the weapon, radar homing weapons will no longer be able to find you. Looks like Pact actually has the upper edge here. NATO's buying units. We had to replace the ones in Juliet because they killed it with tanks, which are now sitting here. I tried to attack them with these Cobras, but they got all retarded, flew right over it and got machine guns and almost died. I'm sending infantry over. We're going to secure this area so we can actually get some early warning when that kind of stuff comes in. Tried to fire artillery with these M109s. Looks like they missed. Looks like they still haven't killed that, so we've got a little bit of scouting over there. It kind of shows us these helicopters. Cobras are back. Tanks are shooting them because they're too stupid. They fly really close. They get some rockets on them. Should put them in panic states. They can't shoot nearly as well. And they're stunned, so they can't. These infantry carriers could conceivably just dive on them and unload, but I want to just get them in defensive position. We do have another Nighthawk inbound. Just drop the bomb straight on them. Seems like a good deal. And they never actually see the plane. Tanks have terrible optic. This guy's resilient. The little rockets on the Cobra, they're really good for taking out, light infantry carriers, infantry. Not so much for killing the tanks. Really good for stunning them and putting them in panic mode. That'll help your other tanks and infantry fight a lot better. Looks like they ordered in a bunch of infantry carriers. We still got the flamethrower truck there backing off these tanks. Starship's a great tank just because it's so cheap. These units are just moving reverse. You can shoot backwards, move order. They've got an anti-tank missile, pretty big gun. Not necessarily great versus tanks, really good versus infantry. And 50 cal machine gun. They're a very good infantry support tank. These are 30 points a pop. They're a great deal. If you want kind of more the main battle tank, Leopard 2A4, probably one of the best you can get. Very good frontal armor, pretty good side armor, very good anti-tank gun, decent machine gun support. I'm running the American deck this time, so I don't have those. I only have Abrams available. I think I bring in some M11Ps pretty soon. They've got 2 machine guns on them, which is kind of handy. The 2A4 is kind of a better standoff tank, though. We do, however, have the Apache. Very, very good versus anti-tanks if you can keep it alive. You've got to watch out for jets, so you've more or less got to have some kind of jet cover. So at this point, I mean, we're still ahead, but we're all spending points because we're fighting pretty hard. Everyone's kind of losing stuff. We're fortifying a more defensive position. They're throwing some units away, actually. So right now, Juliet, we need to get another command vehicle in it, but we've got riflemen in the trees, riflemen in the buildings, riflemen in the trees, all over. Looks like they brought in a plane, F-15s on to intercept, and they probably shot down with the SAM, actually. So an economy game like this, it can fill up a lot just because, I mean, everyone's fortifying positions. This team is not particularly smart. They're not putting a focus effort to bust one position. They're kind of throwing everything everywhere. Looks like they're going to try and make an attack on this town, so they've got... I apparently did not use that flamethrower truck very well because he's attacking a tank. But if, yeah, and they blow him up predictably. So when you've got, a fortified position like this with a bunch of infantry, if you move in with just your own, unless you have ridiculously overwhelming numbers, you're going to have a hard time. We're doing that here. We do have overwhelming numbers. We've got, 2 full quad squads here. We've got some smoke support so that they can't all shoot us from over here. The smoke will block line of sight. Some more tanks coming in. Some support from the tanks and artillery. They've also got kind of a cheaper infantry, the Motostrelki, like Czech Motostrelki. They're not as good as the American. Warsaw Pact does have some very good infantry options, and riflemen are really not the best that NATO has. U.S. Marines are very good. Canadian Vandus and German Panzer Grenadiers are very good as well. So they're moving in. We've got these tanks, infantry support. They're kind of, guarding the edge. This T-72 can't really shoot because he's taking a lot of hits. These guys are just kind of chilling. They're all taking a lot of hits though too, so they're not having a great time. The problem with these is the actual anti-tank gun doesn't have a whole lot of penetration. It's more for killing light troop carriers and infantry, or infantry in buildings. They've got the missiles, so they've got a decent standoff range, but so I mean, we've more or less captured this zone. We've got riflemen here. They're moving over there as well. M11P's standing by. They're not doing too much right now. Looks like they're bringing in some more planes. We'll probably see the F-15 come back out as soon as I see the Delra. Pausing is just for me holding Alt to talk. Like, the game doesn't have an issue, but when you hold Alt and let go, sometimes it just locks up for a second. You'd click the mouse or hit a key, and that's what that beep is too. So Eagle's one of the best air superiority fighters right now. The interceptors like the F-14 and the MiG-31 typically better. These are more maneuverable. They're better at taking out helicopters and stuff. I played an armored subdeck, so I don't have access to the Tomcat because that's only on the Marines. It seems like they're kind of trying to fortify a containment zone around here. Spets, VFR, whatever. Nora VMF, okay. Basically irrelevant. We hold both of these zones, so we're getting 8 extra points, so they can contain us all they want. It's not going to do anything. So we've got 3-3-3-4-4, whereas they have just their 3-3-3 zone. Actually, yeah, that's just a reinforcement zone, no points. And right now you can see the points are really starting to take off. There's not too much recovery at this point unless they had some way to get Foxtrot. Really the best way. The Soviets have access to a unit called Buratino. It's a short-range rocket artillery. Has kind of a flamethrower effect. Very good against infantry and buildings. Uses a lot of ammo, so you've got to keep the supply trucks on it. But it's kind of the unit you want to deal with this situation. Any units I'd bring up would have to be reactionary, we'd have to buy them, we'd have to wait, so they'd have some time to move in infantry and then get in placed, and we'd have to root them out. So speed it up, we've kind of got a good foothold in this town. We've still got some anti-tank missiles in here. I don't think we're really going to deal with that just because we've prevented them from being able to hold Alpha. Looks like they're going to try and actually move in some more tanks on us. Pretty predictably, we get these guys firing away. If those tanks get too close, they're going to get shot with the rocket launchers out of the infantry. Looks like they're lining up for a shot right now. Yeah, so they're blowing them up because they got too close to the buildings that had a bunch of troops, and all the troops have rocket launchers. Some of them, like these, not typically as good as an assault troop, but they do have long-range anti-tank missiles. I typically don't use as many of them. I use my infantry more as an assault and less of a defensive. I have planes and helicopters to cover the defensive. So I'm going to bring these 1-1Ps down. It's the best tank I've got on the field right now. They've got pretty good range, fire on the move, good machine guns, better armor. Extremely fuel inefficient because of the turbine. Like this one right about here, I mean, I've sped the time up to 2x. This team's not particularly good. It looks like they're going to try a few more things. Like they'll kill my, the mini Jeep Scout because I left it there like an idiot. But they're not really pushing where they need to. They don't have control of the zone, which is right near their base. They've completely let us take the town. Looks like they're flying in a MiG-21, trying to catch my helicopters. I don't know if they're going to get them. I think the F-15 comes in again. Looks like they also are trying to go after the Cobras instead of the Apache. The Apache's wicked expensive. Those Cobras, I think, are 45 points apiece. They've got basic rocket launcher, chain gun. I don't know why they want to land. Apache's got 30 mil Hellfire missiles, rocket pods. It's about 165 points apiece, but they're really good versus heavy tanks. We'll see what they see here. And the great thing about these is, the miniguns and the support cannons, they pretty much rarely run out of ammo. You can keep them on station for a long time. Like this easily stuns the troop carriers, it'll knock out the troops. And they're pretty fast reacting force, so it looks like they're fighting my riflemen in the woods. They'll kill them easily. There's not enough of them. But the helicopters are on the way back over to help. They run out of rockets, but they end up with so much machine gun ammo left. So watch from his perspective here. And really the graphical effects, they're very good for a game, kind of this scale. Unit animations, if anything, is probably where it falls a little flat. Looks like they're trying to fortify this area too. They do have very good radar anti-air. Looks like they might not be running a deck that has all the packed units. Typically they use the Book M1, and that's a more effective version. It has 4 missiles longer range, but that's still one of the best SAM anti-air trees. Looks like someone, Igor, is trying to throw a ton of infantry carriers at us from God knows where. So we'll send the Cobras and the Apache back to rearm. I don't know if I actually put them on the FOB so that they actually rearmed. Like, I've checked that. Nope, I didn't. I screwed it up. This guy is. This guy did not. I turned off the Hellfire missiles on him because I don't want to waste them on troop carriers. They will use them, and they'll pretty much one-shot a tank, so it's kind of a waste to shoot a no-armor troop carrier with it. Looks like they're trying to shoot down teammates' scout helicopter. They got him. I'm gonna lose this plane. Yeah, they catch it right after it drops the bomb, but it pretty much always drops the bomb, so they lost a lot of stuff there. I mean, I lost a stealth fighter, but you can still pretty much always use it to take out anti-air. You risk losing it because they will lock on and fire it after the launch if they've got this really good ones. Like, they've got 3 of them right here. But if you killed 3 of them with a stealth fighter, you'd easily pay it off. Looks like the enemy team in this case, because I'm watching the enemy as our team. We're getting very close. They've spent a lot of money on units. We've mostly been able to fortify with what we have, other than a couple dumb stealth fighter runs. Haven't lost too much. Looks like they're trying to move these infantry in again, but basically, unless they can kill a bunch of command vehicles, we've more or less got it in the bag. Like, we don't even really need to fight them, but I'm still moving up helicopters to do it, and we still see them. Their problem is they didn't move their supporting anti-air until now, so it's way out of position. So now all the troops are going to get killed by the helicopter. And the artillery. And that's the game. I didn't do great on the kills on that one. Looks like a lot of the stuff I killed was fairly cheap infantry. They just didn't send a whole lot of it.